Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another planty video. Okay, so a couple of quick things before we get into the plants. Yes, I shaved my head. I have a whole video on this on my second announcement, my new vlog channel. So vlogs are all going to be moved over. Well, they're not going to be moved over. The ones that are on my channel are going to stay on my channel. But all future vlogs are going to be on my new vlog channel. So I will have that linked down below. And yes, I have a video of me shaving my head already live on that channel. So please go subscribe to that one if you enjoy watching my weekly vlogs. And yeah, it just gives me more freedom to post non-plant related content and just basically anything that I want. I get a lot of requests for videos on different topics, from, you know, what I eat to skincare, all kinds of stuff. So now we have a place for me to make that type of content. Okay, just wanted to keep that short and sweet so that we can jump right into the plants. So today I'm going to be talking about my trade wish list for 2022. Now this list is not comprehensive. It's not like I wouldn't be open to trading for plants that are not these plants, but it's just a list of plants that I've either been wanting for a while or that I really like and would be willing to bring into my home, into my collection. You guys know that I've gotten a lot more picky over the past year on which plants I do grow in my home. So yeah, I just compiled a list of plants that I would really love to have in my collection. I have 11 plants to share today, and I will be putting photos on the screen here, which is why I'm sitting off to the side. So the first plant is Calathea rufibarba, or the fuzzy Calathea. This is a Calathea that I have been admiring and wanting for quite some time now. I know last year in like the spring and summer, I really was thinking about getting this plant, and they would pop up in my area, and I just didn't get one. I think that they really started popping up locally right when I was moving in the summer, in August. So I just didn't get around to going to the store, and I just wasn't really in like the mindset of bringing a new plant into my home. But it still is one that I would really love to grow. I love fuzzy foliage, and I really want to have some like larger, more full plants in my home, and Calathea are really good ones for that, just in the sense that they can get really bushy. So yeah, it's definitely one on my list that I would love to grow. I actually really like Calathea. I don't have the best luck with them. I know that I'm not alone in that. My favorite one is Calathea Warshawixii, which I do have a little tiny one that I rotted and then had to reroot, and I just recently potted that up. So maybe one day I will have a large plant of that. That would be a dream come true. But yeah, regardless, large Calathea, definitely love them, and I would love to add the Calathea, or maybe it's Capertia. I don't even know which ones are going by what nowadays, but we'll just call it Calathea rufibarba for my number one. Oh, and by the way, these are not in any particular order. That's not like my number one wish list plant. It's just completely random, and there is a mix of some more common and some more uncommon. I don't think there's anything like really too crazy on this list. Like, I feel like it's pretty reasonable, and I feel like that's another thing I should mention, is that I didn't put any plants that I felt were really unattainable on this list, because obviously I would love to have something like a variegated silver sword or the Hoya compacta Jody silver, things like that, but I just don't think that it's super realistic for me to get my hands on those plants, so those kinds of plants aren't on this list. So yeah, keeping it pretty chill. Okay, the next one on my list, I have wanted this one for quite some time, you guys. I feel like this has been on my wish list for a while, and it's another one that is just kind of funny that I don't have in my collection yet, because I've admired it for years now, and that is the Syngonium macrophyllum frosted heart. I love this plant. I would love to add one of these larger leaf Syngoniums into my collection and have it climb. I also really like the Syngonium chia pence, so I would consider adding that one into my collection as well. But something about the way the frosted heart looks, like the pattern on the leaf almost makes it look like textured. I love the way it looks. I'm not a huge Syngonium person, but I do appreciate Syngonium, and I especially like these larger types that kind of resemble more of a Philodendron kind of look. I do feel like this one is quite attainable, and I'm sure that I could find somebody to trade a cutting with in 2022. So we'll see, you guys, we'll see. But I just think it would be so much fun to grow this plant either up a plank or on a pole or something like that. Do I really have room for it? No. But could I find room? Probably. I'm just looking at my list and realizing that I have such a good mix of plants on here. I think we only repeat a genus once. That's crazy. Okay, that's pretty cool. Very diverse. So the next one on my list is a philodendron, and this is the one that repeats. I have 2 philodendron on this list, and other than that, all of the plants are different genus. So the first philodendron that I would love to add to my collection in 2022 is the Philodendron Serpens. Not only does it have a freaking cool name, something about if you name a plant Serpens, like, I just need it in my life. I have the Hoya Serpens, which I love, which is also a very cool Hoya, and same with the Philodendron Serpens. It's not just the name being the reason that I want it, which is a whole other interesting conversation. The fact that plant names can make a plant more desirable and really draw people in, which is definitely true, because I'm like, dang, that's a cool name, love it. But the real reason that I want Philodendron Serpens is, of course, for those lush fuzzy petioles. Oh my goodness, like I said, I love fuzziness in plants. I love fuzzy petioles. I do have a Philodendron squamiferum, and I have a varicosum, which is just starting to get some fuzz. And I'm just really into textured petioles. And not only do these get a little bit of fuzz on their petioles, but it is like very fuzzy, like long hairs. I will of course have some photos up on the screen so you guys can see, but oh my goodness, it's just so cool. Like this squamiferum does not have that hairy of petioles, like in comparison to this plant. And of course it also does have that beautiful big luscious foliage, so it's just a gorgeous plant overall. Definitely more on the uncommon side, but I don't think that it's super unattainable either. Let me know if you have one, because I haven't really heard a lot about Philodendron Serpens. Like I see people post them occasionally, and I know that they have the really fuzzy petioles, but I don't really know any care information or how they grow, so I would just love to hear anybody's experience growing them. Okay, so the next plant is a really common one, and it is the neon pothos. Now, I did used to have one of these, and I miss it so much. When I moved here, I had quite a long one, actually. It was so pretty and so easygoing, but it was covered in spider mites, and I just couldn't, I just did not have the mental capacity or emotional capacity to be bringing that into my new home and, you know, risking my collection being infested with spider mites, especially moving and my plants are packed together, and it was just a no. So I had to let it go, which I'm so sad about, because I just love the pop of color that neon pothos gives to a collection. I don't really have a lot, I don't really have any neon plants anymore, so I would love to just add that back in and have a big trailing one eventually one day. I'm sure I would be able to find this through a trade somewhere. It's a super common plant. Yes, I could just go to any big box store and spend $4 or $5 and purchase one, but as you guys know, I'm trying to do trades only. So yeah, and I know that there's also neon philodendron, but I just prefer pothos over trailing philodendron. I find that they grow a little bit better. They're super hardy. The leaves come out bigger. I find that a lot of trailing philodendron, the leaves start coming out really small, like they just want to climb. They don't do amazing as trailing plants. But pothos for me can go either way. They can trail or climb, so I definitely prefer pothos. It is an interesting conversation though, and this kind of like debate came up in one of my last videos where I was talking about plants that are popular on Instagram. We were talking about the variegated heteroecium versus the marble queen pothos. And I prefer the marble queen pothos. I'm very emotionally invested in my marble queen pothos, as you guys know. So yeah, it just comes down to personal preference and I guess past experience growing them. The next one on my list is one that I've admired for quite some time as well. I've never had it, but I would love, love, love to have this plant in my collection, and that is the Maranta silver band. You guys know I love Maranta. I love silver plants, so that combination, it's just, these are so pretty. I'm so jealous whenever I see other people have this one. It's not like super uncommon, but it kind of is. I don't think I've ever seen one where I live. Like, I don't think I've ever seen one sold on Facebook or in any like plant shops. I mean, like online ones that I know of. Like, I just don't really see it for sale. But yet I see a lot of people posting that they have it on Instagram. So maybe that's just like specific to my region that these are hard to get your hands on. But regardless, I would love to have one. There's also Maranta Black, which I would love to have as well. I love Maranta, you guys. And unfortunately, the only one that I have right now is my variegated one, which I'm thankful for. But I did have a lemon lime. I did have a red vein. The red vein recently perished, which I talked about in my last Patreon video. it got infested by thrips, so RIP. I would like to replace that one, the red vein, because I really like that one as well. It gets more of that darker foliage in comparison to the lemon lime. But for the purposes of this wish list video, the silver band would be my top one that I would love to grow and have in my collection. Okay, so this next one is a more recent addition to my wish list, and that is the Anthurium pallidiflorum. Is that correct? Pallidiflorum. Pallidiflorum, I think so. So it is very similar to the Anthurium viridifolium, which I have, but it is a velvet leaf. So I just love, like, well, I love trailing plants in general, and I really love long leaves. So these strappy leafed anthuriums, I'm all about it. I think that they are so freaking gorgeous. They're definitely my favorite type of anthurium as far as aesthetics go. And I love my viridifolium. It's absolutely gorgeous. Lives in my cabinet right behind me there, and it's recently been doing really well. It just gave me a beautiful new leaf, and it's actually working on another, so I'm really happy to finally see it growing and taking off. So I was talking about this plant recently, and so many people were commenting that I need a pallidiflorum. They love theirs, and they're just like, it just levels the plant up a little bit having that velvety leaf. So it was kind of, I was thinking about it, and since they're so similar, I was really like waffling on whether I wanted to include it in this video, because I'm trying, you guys, it's just goes back to me not wanting to be completely overwhelmed with plants, and I have limited space and just being more picky. But I think that this is one that I would bring into my home. It's just so gorgeous. And yeah, those strappy leaves, they get me, you guys. They get me every time. I am curious if it is as fussy about humidity as the viridifolium. I'm assuming it is, but it would be really nice if it wasn't. So let me know if you have one and how it grows for you. Yeah, they're freaking gorgeous. I know that Sam from Sassy and Succulent has one, and I'm always admiring it in her videos. So yeah, I would love to add that into my collection, but we shall see. Okay, next is kind of a random one. I don't think I've ever really talked about wanting this plant before. Like, I feel like a lot on this list kind of doesn't come as a surprise, but I've never really talked about this one a lot. And it's not anything super rare. Like, I think that this would be attainable as well, but it is the Philodendron 69686. And the reason that I'm drawn to this philodendron is that it's just different from anything else that I have in my home. I don't have a philodendron with a similar leaf shape to this. I know that it is like the poor man's UPI, which if I could have a UPI, that would just be like, oh my goodness. Those are so freaking gorgeous and so cool. And yeah, that would be incredible. But we're being a little bit more realistic here and going for the 69686, which are still amazing and so unique. I hear that they ship poorly, but that they're fairly easygoing growers. So also, I feel like these aren't really like rare, but I also don't see a lot of people like posting about them, or a lot of people that grow them. So I don't know if they've just like kind of declined in trendiness, and that's why I don't see them popping up a lot. But it's a plant that I've never had in my collection, and I would honestly be thrilled to give it a go. I'm really just trying to bring like more variability and diversity to my collection. Like, I want to collect plants. If I'm going to be adding new plants into my home, I want it to be something a little bit more different, a little more unique from the other plants that I'm growing, because I do have a lot of plants that look very similar. So yeah, that's kind of the reason that I would love to have this plant. Okay, next we have a Hoya, and I'm not super huge into Hoya. I think maybe my love for them will be rekindled a little bit in the spring and summer, because hopefully I will get some blooms. And yeah, I loved my Hoyas last summer when they were blooming. It was so exciting. It filled me with so much joy. So I'm thinking that I'll probably get that sense of excitement back about them once the weather warms up, because they are a plant that in my experience, they just kind of like shutter down in the winter. I haven't really had any Hoya growth, even in my cabinets. Like, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the temperatures. I did find that my Hoyas loved the heat waves that we were getting last summer. That really triggered a lot of blooms, and yeah, they were just like thriving and doing the most. So it could be due to the cooler temperatures that my Hoya aren't absolutely loving life. Okay, this is a long intro to my one Hoya wishlist plant. So the Hoya that's on my wishlist is the Hoya obovata variegata. This is one of the Hoyas that I see people have, and I'm just like, wow, that is so beautiful. I would love to have that in my collection. I love Hoya obovata, even though mine has been like not the easiest to grow, to be honest with you. It is doing better now, but it hasn't been the easiest, which is probably contrary to a lot of people's experience. I feel like it's kind of a beginner Hoya, and a lot of people have like large baskets of it, and mine just, I've just been trying to grow out my like one little one for the past year. But regardless, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the round leaves. It's just such an interesting characteristic when a houseplant has like super round leaves. So yeah, I'm really into that. The one that I have is the regular green one, which it does have like some like speckling or splashing as they typically do. And it turns kind of pink under grow lights, which is really pretty. But yeah, the variegated one, I don't know if there's different types, but the one I'm thinking of is like the center variegated one. I'll have photos. Yeah, they're just so pretty, and it would be a Hoya that I would be really excited to add to my collection. Again, I feel like I could find this. Oh, do you know what another Hoya is that I would actually like to grow? The Burtonii. Those are really pretty, and I did have one and I killed it. It's one of the only Hoya that I've ever killed, but I did kill it in the spring, which is really sad, but that is one that I would consider adding back into my collection as well. Okay, so the next one has been on my wish list for, honestly, I feel like the last like 2 or 3 wishlist videos. I have wanted this one for quite some time, and I just have not been able to get my hands on it throughout the years. I have seen it come in stock in like, there's this one shop that sells these sometimes, but every time I try to get my hands on one, they are sold out, and that is the variegated Thanksgiving cactus, or a schlumbergera truncata. No idea if I'm saying that right, but the variegated version of that, a variegated holiday cactus basically. I love holiday cactus. First of all, the blooms are incredible, and honestly, Thanksgiving cactus was one of the plants that got me really into houseplants. Like, I just remember being so shook when this thing was blooming, and I knew nothing about plants, so the fact that I was like keeping this thing happy and it was blooming, I couldn't even handle it. I just thought it was so cool. I unfortunately parted with that plant when I moved, which is kind of sad because it was a sentimental plant to me as well. But yeah, it was a big plant, didn't really have room for it, so I did part with it, and now I would love to add a holiday cactus back into my collection, but I specifically want the variegated one. That is just, I mean, I would consider a non-variegated one, but like on my wish list, like top of my wish list of holiday cactus, I would love the variegated one. I feel like I'm moving away from variegated plants a little bit. Like, I'm really into like deep greens and just all of the different varieties of lush green tones, but something about the variegated holiday cactus, I just like, it is delicious. I love it so freaking much, and I would add one of these into my collection in a heartbeat. This one is actually this might be the only one on this list I would do this for, but I think I would purchase it. I think that I would purchase it, even though I'm not purchasing plants. I think I would bend a rule and make an exception if I did happen to find one of these for sale. That's like how badly I want one. Not even how badly, but just like they've been so elusive and I've wanted one for years. So if that chance did arise, then I probably would purchase it. But yeah, they're just incredible, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, so the next one is a begonia, and begonias, you guys, oh, I have such a love-hate, it's not even hate, it's just like a love slash frustrated relationship with begonia. I admire begonia so much. I think that they're so freaking gorgeous as a genus. Yeah, they're just so beautiful. I'm so drawn to the look of them, especially cane type begonias. I know that there's those photos of those variegated, oh, what is it called? What is that called? I used to have one. Maculata, those variegated begonia maculata going around on Instagram. Oh my goodness, those photos are so stunning with like the light pink variegation. Oh, that would be incredible to have one of those. But yeah, I love begonia. Begonia don't so much love me, especially the more delicate terrarium type begonias, and that is exactly the type that I have on my list right now. So my wishlist begonia is Begonia amphioxus. Oh, they are just so cool. Like, something about them just looks like so bizarre and creepy and unnatural, and I love like that shocking lime green color. They're just so unique, and I would just be admiring this thing all the time if it was in my collection. Whenever I see a photo of these pop up on Instagram, I'm just like blown away by how unique they are. Okay, sorry, my battery died, and then I grabbed my cup of tea that's been sitting on the counter. We were talking about Begonia amphioxus. I feel like this is one that would be a little bit more difficult to trade for because it's just like a smaller pool of people that are into collecting these like terrarium type begonias. So I don't know, not impossible, but yeah, we'll see. Very cool begonia though. And then the last plant that is on my 2022 wish list is another one that I have wanted for quite some time, but I never really actively would seek it out. Like I would see it for sale sometimes and I would just never really purchase it. And I feel like a big part of that is that I don't know where I would want to put it. But anyways, regardless, it is the fern leaf cactus, and oh my goodness, you guys, these are so pretty. Can we talk about how beautiful jungle cactus are first of all? Like, oh my goodness, I was thinking the other day about how I miss my rickrack cactus. Do you guys remember that? I had like a big basket of rickrack cactus and it was so cool. They're so easygoing. I don't know if the fern leaf cactus is easygoing. I'm hoping that it is because obviously I would like to grow one day. And of course, I like the name. I am not one to be growing a lot of actual ferns in my home, but the fern leaf cactus, like I'm totally here for it. Yeah, I'm so here for the leaf shape on this plant and also just the fact that you can like style it so many different ways. I see these mounted, I see these like growing upside down, all types of ways. You can grow it just in a pot like regular. You can really do a lot with them, and I feel like it's really like a statement piece for a home. I think that's why I've been like weary on deciding where I would put it, because I would want it somewhere where it's like displayed really nicely. I just feel like it deserves a prime spot. So yeah, that's kind of why I've held off. Is this a plant that I would be able to trade for? I feel like it's kind of unlikely. Well, that's not true. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe we shouldn't have that type of attitude. It's just one that I don't really see that often, at least where I am. What is the genus of this plant? Selenicerius. Oh, the blooms on them too. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I believe that this is a type of jungle cactus, and jungle cactus are just incredible. Like, I feel like they're so underrated. They're so easy to grow and they're just beautiful and always have like unique leaf shapes and foliage. So yeah, just a little side note on jungle cactus. Okay, you guys, so that brings me to the end of this wishlist video. I can't wait to see what plants I end up bringing into my home for the new year. I think it's more fun to be like this intentional about bringing plants in because it's so exciting when I do, and it's just so much more meaningful. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be moving in this direction. I do have my #1 wish list plant coming hopefully this month. It's supposed to ship out, so yeah, I'll definitely be sharing that with you guys. Obviously, I'll probably do an unboxing, or yeah, I'll make a video about it. You'll see it. But yeah, I'm very excited about that, and I'm just really feeling like the gratitude and the anticipation for that plant, because it's not something that I do a lot anymore, is make a purchase like that. So, and I did purchase that last year. I pre-ordered it, so yeah, I just don't have it yet. But yeah, so excited for 2022. I don't know if I've said Happy New Year yet. I know I did make some posts saying Happy New Year and just expressing my gratitude for you guys and for everything that this channel has become. It blows my mind every single day. I truly am so grateful and so thankful for all of you. So thank you for your support. And yeah, I'm so excited about this new year and where this channel is gonna go, where our planting journey is going to take us. So if you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more planty content. Also make sure you subscribe to my vlog channel. It'll be linked down below. And I guess that is going to be it. Leave me a comment. Love to chat with you as always. Like this video. And I guess that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Try